And nothing wrong with apple juice, right?
Nothing wrong with it, but it was like days of apple juice. Then this is the...
Sorry to keep pausing it. What do you mean, ugh? Days of apple juice. Oh my God, you drank apple juice more than one time in a week? Oh, ugh. Hi, I'm Chris James, and you're watching A Healthy Alternative. Today, we're going to be doing a reaction to a clip from a very popular show called The Doctors. I'm not super familiar with it, so I don't want to speak too much on what the show is about, but from what I gather, there's a group of doctors who analyze certain therapies and just situations, and people have questions and things of that nature, and it's basically you get to get responses and reactions from doctors. So today, I'm going to react to the doctor's reaction to a liver flush that a man performed. And to kind of set this clip up, apparently he performed a liver flush and died. So that's kind of where we're at with the actual clip, and we're just going to react to the clip.
All of you seeking DIY health remedies, listen to this cautionary tale. A new medical case report cites a man with gallstones who was told by his naturopathic practitioner to consume 3 tablespoons of Epsom salt with water for 15 days. The man was trying to dissolve his gallstones, but he got a lot more instead. He ended up getting jaundice and permanent liver damage. And 40% of people polled said information found on social media affects how they cope with a chronic condition. And you just got to be aware.
Okay, so first of all, I have done many liver and gallbladder flushes. I am aware of several different liver and gallbladder flushes. I have never, ever heard of a liver and or gallbladder flush that involves you doing 15 days of Epsom salt. Okay, so obviously they're cherry picking, and this I'm already frustrated because what they are doing is they are setting a tone for the rest of the clip to say, okay, this person died, they did this 15-day thing. Taking Epsom salt for 15 days sounds ridiculous anyway. As a matter of fact, if I can be honest with you all, I promote the Andreas liver and gallbladder flush. That flush asks you to do Epsom salt. Now, it's only 1 day of Epsom salt, and you know, you do a food grade Epsom salt. It's recommended on a bag. This is how Epsom salt, one of the ways people use Epsom salt. Even with that, it doesn't sit well with me. It's okay, it's not a big deal, but I know how people are. I know how people like to abuse things, especially when they think it works a certain way, and especially when it comes to laxatives. So, because of how Epsom salt forces hydration and liquid out of your body, I just think it's something that we should use very rarely. Now, if you're doing the liver and gallbladder flushes, you're only doing the Epsom salt maybe once every 3 weeks. You know what I mean? So that's kind of, so it's not that bad. But people will use Epsom salt, you know, multiple times a week, and I think it's just a terrible practice. So I never heard of a 15-day Epsom salt flush for gallstones. Go figure.
Because liver flushing products and concoctions are all over the internet. You walk into any number of vitamin stores, liver cleanse, and they make all these wonderful claims.
Yeah, I mean, this was a recipe that was readily found online for a liver flush where it had apple juice.
Okay, so this is why you got to be careful when you watch these shows. Okay, so first we're talking about a protocol that apparently is 15 days of Epsom salt. Now, the first doctor says, oh, you're going into these stores and you're buying this stuff on the shelves, and like, you got to be careful. And then the second doctor says, yeah, so this is a flush that we found online, as if they're talking about the same thing. These are 3 different things that they're talking about. But now they get to the visualization, they've already set it all up, and now they start breaking down the flush that they have. You see all of the different items, and this is the manipulation. So everything they've talked about up until this point has nothing to do with the flush that they're actually showing you right now on camera. I just think that's an interesting way to manipulate people. Let's keep going.
Juice, which they said had malic acid to dissolve those stones.
And nothing wrong with apple juice, right?
Nothing wrong with it, but it was like days of apple juice. Then this is the
Sorry to keep pausing it. What do you mean? Ugh. Days of apple juice. Oh my God, you drank apple juice more than one time in a week? Oh, really? Like apple juice? That's what we're worried about? People drink coffee 2-3 times every single day. You're worried about somebody drinking apple juice for more than one day in a like what? Ugh. Apple juice. Oh my God. What? I like this is theatrics. This is absolutely absurd. And yeah, apple juice, you get a nice organic apple juice, you fresh press it, okay? Because we talk about drinking juice fasting and stuff like that. You want to make sure your apple juice is fresh pressed. You don't want to be buying apple juice from the store, just random apple juice. It's obviously it's not real apple juice. It's got all kinds of crap in it.
Epsom salt. This is the olive oil. I mean, it's a lot kind of these ingredients that theoretically.
Let's be clear, your liver is a wonderful organ that is made to filter along with your kidneys. The single best things you can do for your liver to keep it healthy so it's filtering well, eat right, healthy diet, and avoid anything that we know is liver toxic.
Yeah, I mean, certainly alcohol being the.
Okay, so wow. This is orchestrated extremely well. First, they set you up with man dies from doing this natural thing. Then we find out he did Epsom salt for 15 days. That's trash. Then they somehow reframe that into this liver flush that actually what the ingredients that they have look exactly like the ones that are promoted in the amazing liver and gallbladder flush. Epsom salt, grapefruit juice, apple juice, a high quality olive oil. All of these ingredients are in the flush that we teach. So you've got that. And then you have the sensible doctor that comes on the back end. Look, listen, guys, all you got to do, eat well, drink water, avoid things you know that's going to hurt your liver, right? And it all comes together very seamlessly. These people teaching this flush, they must be crazy. They're going hard for no reason. All you got to do is just eat right. Well, first of all, if people knew how to eat right, we wouldn't have liver problems in the first place, number one. Number two, the foods that you even think are healthy foods are actually toxic for you in modern times, right? Because the food we eat today is not the same as what our great-grandparents ate. And so they've painted this picture of this crazy idea of trying to, take some random ingredients and dissolve gallstones. All you got to do is just eat well. Absolute garbage. This is manipulation at its finest. But this is The Doctors, a very popular show. A lot of people watch and trust this advice. And the crazy thing is, the third doctor, what he said is true, right? Yeah, eat well. But what is eating well? What is that? And if you haven't been eating well for 20 years and you have a lot of toxic sludge in your body, is eating well going to eliminate all of that toxic synthetic sludge you have in your body?
Big one.
Acetaminophen,
Yeah.
potentially other medications.
Even some cholesterol-lowering drugs like
there you
statins.
go,
Yeah,
Ken.
definitely.
So, those are the things you should be aware of good liver health, just like everything else.
I would rather people make a mixture of apple juice and olive oil, because at least you know what you're taking, than going and taking some of these supplements that claim to cleanse your liver and drink as much as you want because this will wash your liver out.
It's an interesting dynamic they have here. It seems like the doctors have their own viewpoints because the first doctor is like, it's apple juice, who cares? I mean, no big deal. The second doctor's like, well, this stuff is kind of a crazy concoction. And the third one's like, you don't need none of that. Just eat well. I do appreciate the fact, if I want to keep this thing balanced, I appreciate the fact that they did note, hey, there's certain prescription drugs and things that are going to damage the liver. That list could be infinitely longer, However, I appreciate them throwing that little tidbit in there.
Be very careful with that stuff.
And to your point, there actually are medications now available, oral medications for hepatitis B, hepatitis C. So if you have a true infection of your liver, you're not going to fix it with grapefruit juice and apple juice. Like that.
Oh my God. So you're double talking. So first you say, okay, yeah, there's certain things you want to stay away from that are clearly damaging to the liver, certain medications and things like that. And then you prescribe a medication that you could use. Like, listen, y'all. If they knew what they were talking about, now this is me talking about like the mainstream medical industry. If they knew what they were talking about and you could solve problems with medication, we would be the healthiest country in the world because we consume the most medication, surgery, the most pharmaceuticals out of any country in the world. But we're not the healthiest. We are one of, if not the sickest country in the world. So what is that telling you? You got to be careful about traditional wisdom.
That's just kind of the bottom line. And in addition to whether or not you even scar your liver from these flushes, you can certainly get kidney damage. You can have arrhythmias, which have been reported with these liver flushes. You can have diarrhea. So they're not totally benign, whether or not they even ding your liver and they don't do what they're supposed to do.
Incidentally,
so now they're either so once again, Dr. One is like, I'd rather you be doing this stuff than, this other crazy stuff, right? And then Dr. Two is like, yeah, but it's not as if this is just completely benign. Like, it's not as if, not only is it not going to help you, you could scar your liver, you could damage your kidneys, you could have all kinds of problems from doing it. But all of the ingredients are natural ingredients. These are ingredients that you would have in daily life, daily meals. You're talking olive oil. People put that in their food all the time. You're talking grapefruit juice. People eat grapefruit. My mom ate grapefruit like probably 2-3 times a week. She loved it. You're talking Epsom salt. It's a normal product people use as a laxative, or they use it in their bathtub. Like, what are you talking about? So you're saying that these common products, these natural products, are going to potentially cause all these disease. This is so confusing and so disingenuous. It's frustrating to listen to.
Did you guys hear about this online group that our producers joined?
15,000 members who are all talking about these DIY type flushes. It's crazy. Like you said, 40% of people with chronic illnesses are turning to social media now. So you just.
All right. That's pretty much the clip. The thing that I thought was interesting, I looked at the timeline. This video is 5 years old. About 5 years ago, 6 years ago, AHA would have had anywhere between 10 and 20,000 members. And I've been talking about this flush for a long time. So who knows what community or group they're talking about. I thought that was interesting. But the point is, why are you attacking people who are getting together, looking to heal? They have a problem. Do you think these people just said, oh, forget mainstream medical practices. We're not going to rock with that at all. We're going to use grapefruit and Epsom salt. You think that was their first mind? We've all been conditioned the same way, which is to go to your doctor, have tests run, and get on some type of drug. That's what they tell everybody to do. Most people are doing that and getting terrible outcomes, which is why they then say, maybe there's an alternative, right? That's the reason why we created this brand, A Healthy Alternative, is to provide people with alternatives to modern day medicine. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this. This clip really got under my skin because it was very manipulative. Like they patchworked stories together to build a narrative to essentially make it seem like people who look into this stuff are just they're out of their mind. And it's the complete opposite. We get infinitely better outcomes than doctors. Infinitely better. Why? Not because we're smarter or better. It's because when you have a problem with your car, you go to a mechanic. When you have legal issues, you go to a lawyer. When you need to heal something in your body, you go to a healer. When you have trauma, you go to a doctor. And the problem is these lines are getting crossed. You would never go to your lawyer for a car problem, but yet we're going to doctors for healing. And that's not their doctrine. And people just need to understand that. Everybody has their lane. And people often tell me, Chris, stay in your lane. Okay, well, guess what? Doctors need to stay in their lane. You guys deal with trauma. People get shot. They get run over by buses, things of that nature. I'm all for it. As far as healing, leave it to those who understand the body. Anyway, hope you all enjoyed this. If you did, hit the thumbs up button. If you want to see more videos like this, subscribe. And as always, the application of knowledge is power. And I will see you all next time.